Today, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the past, and the present, and the future. I come from a place once described by a journalist as a tiny dot of a community. The Nyunyul people call it Ngalan Bur. It is commonly known as Beagle Bay. Beagle Bay is located in the far northwest of Western Australia on the Dampier Peninsula. In Beagle Bay, we have a beautiful church, Catholic church. Where the church is situated, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, reside on this particular location. The church, the interior is made of shells, pearl shells that was collected by the old people and who worked hand in hand building this beautiful church with the Palatines brothers and priests. Over the last 100 years, Beagle Bay welcomed a lot of priests, brothers, nuns from all over the world to live amongst the traditional people of the land. One such person, a nun, her name was Sister Bernadette O'Connor. She came from Ireland 70 years ago. She came with another nun. That nun passed away a week on country from sunstroke. Sister Bernadette lived on till she was 88 years of age. One day, my godmother, Olive Dan, she came rushing into the local community store. She was in a panicked and stressed state. She did not find Sister. Sister was missing for 2 days. She asked me, "Can you go and organize a search party?" So I organized a search party. So today, I'd like to share with you the final journey of Sister Bernadette O'Connor in the country she called home. We began tracking her footprints in a place called Lollywell. It was about 11:30 in the morning. With me was my husband and my sister, Doris, my husband Nelson. We entered this country. We entered the Lollywell And it was such an amazing place. You could smell the fresh spring water, the birds, the crickets, the multitude of God's creatures inside, hidden in this beautiful location. In this location, I couldn't help smelling the spring and the moist black soil that was once upon a time where our grandfathers, my great-grandmother, my grandfather, my grandmother, once collected the mud and clay to build the church that stands in Beagle Bay. I said to myself, wow, sister, what a wonderful place to go for an afternoon walk. She always went for her walks. And we found her footprints. And inside this place, there was this huge big bull. And we were scared. We thought it might come charging at us. But the bull was frightened as well. It went off on another path. But where we found Sister Bernadette's track, and we kept calling and calling out, "Sister, you here? Are you here? Tell us, call out." We called to my ancestors, my Galu. We called my grandfather, calling out, "Galu, Galu, please, please, help us. Help us find Sister. She has been missing for 2 days. Let us find her." Like a magnet, we circled Lolliwell and came back to the beginning of where we found her footprints. We examined the footprints, and it led us to the edge of the creek. And this path, it took, and we absorbed the beauty, the colorful colors that this part of the edge of the creek that we witnessed that day. The bird life, the flowers. And we knew, and I had this feeling that she was not in this area. My gut feeling was to go to the sewage pond on the opposite side of Lolliwell. It was really hot in the Kimberley. It's kind of really, really hot. So we found this beautiful paperbark tree. And I said to my husband and my sister, let us sit and listen. Let us contemplate and listen for the calling in country. So we sat in silent prayer because we lost her foot tracks. And when we finished our silent prayer, we found for the second time her foot tracks, her footprints. So we followed her, and we knew that it was her tracks because her dog, she goes every afternoon for her walks in country with her dog. And the dog was named Hawkie. And Hawkie was, the name Hawkie was given to this particular dog because of the love of the AFL football team, Hawthorn. So we walked around the sewage pond, and it was clear she was walking. And this part of the country, it was burnt. Bushfires this time of the year was really obvious. You could smell the ash. You could smell the fire. And above us, there was this huge eagle preying on all the dead animals for food. So we continued our walk, continued walking around the sewage pond, tracking her. We lost her tracks for the third time. By this time, silently, we called out to our old people again, please, we need to find her. Is she all right? Please make sure she's all right. Her tracks led us across the old creek road. And you could hear the cockatoos. The cockatoos, it was such an amazing collection of these cockatoos just making this huge, big racket. Huge, big racket. And I thought, and you're feeling in country, is this a message? Is this a message? Two after two kept flying from the north side to the west to the bay. Two in pairs just kept flying. And the rest was just making this huge, big noise, just screeching and making all this racket. Two kept flying in pairs from the north to the west. My old people say to me, and my dad is in the audience, they tell me that one cockatoo signifies death. Two signifies hope and joy. Three is for disappointment. Four is for surprise. So two at a time I kept flying from the north to the west. And I knew that we are going to find her. And I knew that there was hope for her. We lost her track for the fourth time. And we had to figure this out. We figured the birds, the calling. We figured it was just like this huge jigsaw puzzle that we needed to put together. And because through the birds we were able to do that, we were able to listen, we were able to follow the direction of what was calling us, and how it was calling us, and how it was drawing upon us to follow those birds. You could see Hawkeye running across the plains. He was running, and the wind started to pick up. It was this beautiful breeze that came right through us. It was like the Holy Spirit is blowing, cooling us down. And at this point, 2 police officers came to our aid. And at this point, we knew we found her tracks. And so we called in. We called in our position and said, we found the tracks. We need just to find her now. So there was a group of other people, family, community members who came and assist us. The energy of every single person who was on that search was amazing. We had old people walking, and we knew that we weren't alone. We knew we were in country with our old people and with us, and we had the strong faith to find her. We were guided by this loving, powerful presence. At this time, the sun was starting to set, and the police officers said to us, by 6 o'clock, we're going to call the search off. So we had hardly enough time left, so we had to push and keep walking. Sister tracks past Bulwell and went off the road into a place called Stone Lake. She kept walking, her tracks kept walking around in circles. And I was wondering whether she was tired or she became disorientated. She then, my daughter, Tamara, I can hear her calling out, "Mom, Mom." And I raced back to her and said, "What's wrong?" "One cockatoo, Mom, one cockatoo flew right across the bay." And in hindsight, that was the only last time we saw a cockatoo. And it was one. And it flew in the direct and precise location where Sister Bernadette lay. Sun was setting. Because of the bushfires, it created this beautiful sunset, this magnificent sunset with fiery red colors and yellow and orange, purple. It was just blending together. And we kept walking because we had no time left. We kept walking and walking and calling out, calling her name, calling to our old people. And we came very around and we saw her. She was lying on the ground the shade, evening shade of the mangroves. And as you see the cross, that is where she was lying. The ray from the sunset, came through the mangroves, and it glowed, and her body glowed. She was lying peacefully in country. In her blue dress, flowery blue dress, she was lying there, so peacefully. They say the country is in the heart, and the heart is in the country. Sister passed away where she belonged. What she loved doing, walking in this country, in our country. Sister Bernadette allowed us to walk her final journey in country. The vast colors and the magnificent and loving country that held us. The power of our faith and the power of our Aboriginal spirituality protected and guided us. Friends, as we walk this earth, each and every one of you, that day we had to follow what we call a lian. That lian is deep, deep, deep within us. It is a compass. It guides us. It directs us. So we followed that lian. And I say to you, my friends, who are listening, who are watching, that it is not an Aboriginal thing. Each and every one of us has this lian, has our own compass, that it will drive and direct us. That is how we found Sister Bernadette on her final walk. Let me end by saying, let us walk the walk. Let us follow our instinct. Let us be guided by the choices, the good choices. Let us follow what you say, our GPS. I say thank you. Thank you so much.